Hey, what's up? It's Phoenix and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I encourage you to hit that like button, to subscribe for more quality content from Phoenix, and to share with your friends. Today, as part of my rock and metal series, I'm going to talk briefly about the notion of bands that change their musical style or sound. I think that this is an interesting conversation and I think there's a lot that goes into it. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Now, the other day when I was making my video for my poem Bottle, where I read my poem, I was feeling a little bit down for a variety of reasons, and so I decided to look up some music, and one of the songs that came up was a song called Below by Leprous, and this came up, and I was thinking about Leprous in general, and how they have changed their sound since even their first couple albums, or even The Congregation, which was one of their later albums, and largely, if completely, the metal element that makes them what they are, such as the screaming, the heavy distortion, and various elements that they use, the chaos, as an example, is all but missing from their music. And so their music has definitely taken on a different turn over the past two albums. And I myself have even struggled a bit with it because it's such a change in style. But I was thinking about how I think it is okay that bands change style. I don't like it when they sell out, although I would say I don't think there's anything wrong with being more accessible. I know that some bands definitely change their sound a lot, and it alienates the fan base, and I totally understand this. There are many bands that have had this effect before, such as In Flames or Metallica, or some other bands where people prefer their original work. And I totally understand this, but I will also say that the kind of intuition that I had when I was listening to the song Below by Leprous, I realized that it's still a really good song. It may not be metal, it may not be the kind of metal that I like to listen to, but it is very good music. You know, I had seen an analysis of the band's, of the vocals of that song, and on Voice Hacks, which is another YouTube channel, and I was very impressed at the analysis of the vocals for that album, or for that specific song. And that really is a very powerful thing. In my estimation, art is not always about doing the same thing. It is absurd to expect an artist to do the same thing over and over again, because they naturally evolve and they want to do different things. You know, I was thinking about Opeth, who, when I was listening to their later music, I was a little bit surprised because there weren't really the metal elements that I had expected. But I realized that the songs were still beautiful nonetheless. And so I understand that it's hard to say what we should even say when it comes to bands changing their sound, because it does throw us for a loop, it does surprise us, and we feel like we have this attachment and ownership of these bands. But we really don't. One of the concepts that I've been thinking about lately, with music, with art, with writing, with anything that I may do or experience and engage with in the world, is this notion that art is about breaking down the boundaries. It's not about these artificial conceits of being better or of being metal, as the saying may go. You don't have to be metal, you don't have to be avant-garde, you don't have to be anything you don't want to be. Make the music that you want to make, do the art that you want to do, write the kind of poems and novels that you want to write, and let that be that. Obviously, people will have their strong opinions about it, and I totally understand why in some cases, but I would also say musicians should be free to be able to explore their sound. Artists should be able to be free. I mean, I think about this a lot with my own writing, where I'm constantly trying to tweak and experiment and extend my range of what I'm able to do. And if I wasn't able to do that, I would get really bored. Or I wouldn't say that I would get bored because I love writing, but I would definitely feel complacent. I would feel like I'm doing less of what I could do. So music really is a remarkable thing, and I was just thinking that as I was listening to Below, which is a very different very different song for Leprous, it still nonetheless appealed to me because I realized that it touched me. It broke down a boundary and barrier that I had for myself of what I expect art to be. And I think art should be open-ended. I think we shouldn't limit ourselves, we shouldn't limit musicians, and we shouldn't be so spiteful whenever bands change their sound. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I hope that you will check out my other videos, and I hope that you enjoyed this little discussion, and thank you for stopping by. I will see you next time, and thank you for watching.